What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Okay, so we've been having ththese confirmation hearings, and I'm loving these, right? I loved yesterday's confirmation hearing with Pete Hegseth. It was off the chain. It was pretty good. I like Pete Hegseth a lot more now that I've seen all this. And I've never seen anything from Pam Bondi, and we had hers today. And I watched the vast majority of it. I couldn't watch the whole thing. By God, I was at work. So I got to work, right? But I listened to most of it. And yeah, she's pretty good. She's pretty damn good. I'm excited to see her get into the AG position and start just dismantling all the damn corruption going on in the Attorney General's office, if you will, in the DOJ. But you know, the corporate press, you know, they manipulate. They're going to corporate press themselves. And that is exactly what they're doing. Check this out, y'all. AG nominee Pam Bondi won't say Trump lost 2020 election. Is that so? Is that what you got from her answer? Because I got something totally different. I've got a clip to show you guys. But before we do all that, y'all smash that like button for me if you don't mind. I would greatly appreciate that. You saw that, huh? And if you could, subscribe to this channel. I need your help, y'all. So subscribe, share this video anywhere and everywhere you can. That's the best way to help me out, y'all. And I need your help a lot. But let's go ahead and get into this thing because, yeah, we got a lot to break down, y'all. Check this out. Attorney General nominee Pam Bondi dodged a question from Senator Dick Durbin on Wednesday about whether President-elect Donald Trump lost the 2020 election. Bondi echoed other Republicans in stating President Biden is now the president, but she would not say Trump lost. And she described the post-2020 transition as peaceful despite the events of January 6th, 2021. Now, to respond to that, you notice they say she wouldn't say he lost, right? Well, you don't have to say he lost for you to say that he lost, right? She said something totally different, but you love how they said that. She said that there was a peaceful transfer of power despite what happened on January 6th. Now, they put that in there for the cultists, for sure. Like all the cultists on the left, he put that in there for them because they're going to be like, yeah, what is she talking about? She lied. But, you know, most people that know what's going on and pay attention to politics and knows anything about how the federal government works knows that the transfer of power, the actual transfer of power, does not take place until January 20th. It's not on January 6th. That's the certification of the election. Has nothing to do with transferring anything. You're just certifying the votes. That's all that was. So the corporate press, once again, is trying to manipulate you into believing that she lied under oath, saying that there was a peaceful transfer. Right? Trump left office. As a matter of fact, let me know down in the comments what you get from this clip. I'm going to run the clip right quick and let me know if you think she said that Trump lost.
Americans believe that central to the peaceful transition of power in a democracy is the acceptance of the results of an election. To my knowledge, Donald Trump has never acknowledged the legal results of the 2020 election. Are you prepared to say today under oath without reservation that Donald Trump lost the presidential contest to Joe Biden in 2020?
Ranking Member Durbin, President Biden is the President of the United States. He was duly sworn in, and he is the President of the United States. There was a peaceful transition of power. President Trump left office and was overwhelmingly elected in 2024.
Do you have any doubts that Joe Biden had the majority of votes, electoral votes, necessary to be elected president in 2020?
You know, Senator, all I can tell you as a prosecutor is from my firsthand experience. And I accept the results. I accept, of course, that Joe Biden is president of the United States. But what I can tell you is what I saw firsthand when I went to Pennsylvania as an advocate for the campaign. I was an advocate for the campaign, and I was on the ground in Pennsylvania, and I saw many things there. But do I accept the results? Of course I do. Do I agree with what happened? And I saw so much, no one from either side of the aisle should want there to be any issues with election integrity in our country. We should all want our elections to be free and fair and the rules and the laws to be followed?
I think that question deserved a yes or no. And I think the length of your answer is an indication that you weren't prepared to answer yes.
Okay, so she said that President Joe Biden was the president of the United States 3 times. She said he was duly sworn in twice. She said Trump left office, right? Now, he comes out and says, well, Trump has never said he accepted the results, right? But hang on. If he left office, that means he accepted the results and he left office. Like, if he didn't accept those results, he would have tried to stay there and tried to kick Joe Biden out. Like, come on, people. Are we being that ridiculous? Right? This is all just grandstanding at the highest level, if you will, right? These people, they're just wanting these clips. That's all they want. They ask these ridiculously stupid questions, and they say, I want a yes or a no. Well, you know, sometimes it's not a yes or a no answer, right? I would have loved it, though, if she would have just said yes. Next question. That would have been great. That would have just been outstanding. But just shut them down on that right fast. But these people, they're just insane. They just want these clips. It's just grandstanding. Once again, like I said. And they've got a lot. They've got to manipulate everything. But, you know, I wish she would have expounded upon the Pennsylvania situation. Because, yeah, there was a lot of funny business going on in Pennsylvania. We saw, like, this election cycle, one of the damn election officials outright saying that if I violate the law, blah, blah, I forget exactly what she said, but she was talking about outright violating the law just to make something go to the court system. It's like, come on, are you freaking insane? But Pennsylvania, they violated their own constitution to change rules and laws without the approval of the state legislature, right? And when they were sued over it, the courts just backed off and said, oh, we don't want to touch this. We can't get in this dispute. It's like, come on, stop being cowards over here and look into this. This is a constitutional question, right? Because it goes really deep, and I'm not trying to get into all that here, but it's a deep constitutional question whether one state has authority without their state legislature approving. It's just insane. That whole situation. I could make an entire video on that, but let's keep going, y'all. I think that question deserved to get, yeah, we already saw that. Bondi also fielded questions about Trump's plans to pardon those convicted for January 6th riot, saying she would have to evaluate pardons on a case-by-case basis. What is wrong with that? The pardons, of course, fall under the president, but if asked to look at those cases, I will look at each case and advise on a case-by-case basis, just as I did my entire career as a prosecutor, she said. Let me be very clear. In speaking to you, I condemn any violence on a law enforcement officer in this country. Bondi went on to defend Trump's controversial pick to lead the FBI, Kash Patel, but said she would not have an enemies list at the DOJ. Oh, it gets better. However, she still pointed to the prosecutions of Trump as weaponization of the Justice Department. What else would you call it? When they go after a former president for taking home presidential records. When they go after a former president for legitimately challenging the results of an election. Right? They try to throw all this garbage up in your face. Oh, but that's illegal. There's challenges to every single election. I'm sorry. Just because he went on a route that's, you know, not normally gone down, I guess you could say, right? It's still legitimate. It's still legal. They're trying to go after him over that, and it's bogus. It's outright bogus. Right now, some of the electors, right, the slates of alternate electors, now some of that gets off into the weeds. Right? A lot of that gets off into the weeds. But what they're trying to do with that, they're trying to blame Trump for that when Trump had nothing to do with putting together slates of electors in several states. Like, really? The state has to do that. And they always do that. They always have alternate slates of electors. Just about. Right? It's just ridiculous how they try to twist and turn the law to try to make it work to go after Donald Trump. It's kind of like what we saw with the falsifying business records case. right? Oh, this was the big one. This is the one, y'all. And then when we get to court and we start hearing all the particulars of the case, we're like, this is nonsense. What are they even talking about here? It's just garbage. But hey, leave it to the corporate press. They will corporate press. Bondi denied that Patel has an enemies list, but Trump's FBI pick wrote a book called Government Gangsters, in which he included a list of those he called gangsters. He later said they must be held accountable. Is that an enemies list? Does it say list of enemies and then list out a bunch of names? No, it lists a bunch of government gangsters and then says that these people have committed crimes and they need to be held to account. Like the whole enemies list is corporate press nonsense that they just made up because they wanted to twist somebody's words around. These people are the best at twisting words around to make it mean something totally different. Like when Pam Bondi says, yes, Joe Biden is the duly elected president. Oh, well, she wouldn't say Trump lost. What else can you derive from that sentence? Like, seriously. These people just love to twist words around. They'll either go hyper literal, like she didn't say yes, because she did, but she didn't physically say yes. They just go hyper literal, or they just flip it around and just manipulate everything, sometimes to an outright lie. Just garbage. But yes, there are people in the government that commit crimes and they are never held accountable at all. And that's what Kash Patel's enemies list is. It's not an enemies list. It's a list of people that have committed crimes that they need to be held to account. That they shouldn't be allowed to get away with the crimes that they have committed. Right? That's why I can't stand these people. They say, oh, well, Trump said he's going after the enemies from within. He's going after his political rivals. No, he's going after criminals, as a matter of fact. If these people haven't committed a crime, they're not going to be investigated. They're not going to be gone after. But if they're suspected of committing a crime and they just so happen to be a political rival, then yes, he's most definitely going to go after these people. And it's like, so what's the inverse of this? What are they advocating for here? To let criminals get away with committing crimes just because they're in government? I thought nobody was above the law, Democrats. What do you got to say about that? Like, these people are insane. Let's keep going, though. There will never be an enemies list within the Department of Justice, Bondi said, adding later she would not target anyone specifically. It would not be appropriate for a prosecutor to start with a name and look for a crime. She was also asked about her own calls to investigate the investigators, telling Senator Sheldon Whitehouse that her quote only referred to addressing bad prosecutors. She then attacked the cases against Trump. I think that is the whole problem with the weaponization that we've seen in the last 4 years and what's been happening to Donald Trump. They targeted Donald Trump. They went after him. Actually, starting back in 2016, they targeted his campaign. They have launched countless investigations against him, she said. That will not be the case if I am Attorney General. I will not politicize that office. I will not target people simply because of their political affiliation. Justice will be administered even-handedly, right? And that's what we need to hear. Of course, that's just a standard talking point from a government official, right? But I do believe these people when they say that, yes, we're not going to politicize anything. We're just going to go after crimes. Now, leave it to the Democrats. They're going to politicize the criminals that they go after, right? It's garbage. It's all garbage coming from these people. Not to say the Republicans don't do anything bad, because they do, right? But we're in a moment right now where the weaponization has been exposed, and we all see it. Right now, we can't retroactively or retcon past weaponization that we haven't known about, right? Like before we learned about like Joe Biden's administration weaponizing the government, right? Like we could see some of these things and be like, yeah, that's a bogus case. But we don't really know that that's politically driven. With Trump, we absolutely know that it's politically driven outright. Because you just look at when he came down that escalator, ever since then, instantly turned all of his allies into enemies on the Democrat side because he came out as a Republican. All of a sudden, he was a bad guy. He's Orange Hitler and all this other garbage. He's racist. He's homophobic, xenophobic, Islamophobic. You name it. Gotcha. All right, like Hillary Clinton said. So it's all absurd. It is all just absurd. They have gone after this man and gone after this man and gone after this man, right? And the way I say it, like 99% prosecution rate, like conviction rate for the federal government. They have such a good track record of convictions that when you look at all the cases against Donald Trump just falling by the wayside, that tells you one thing logically. That, yeah, it's been weaponized against Donald Trump because they don't just go after anybody. They only go after people they can get. And if they can't get Donald Trump, who is, supposedly subverted democracy, incited an insurrection, stole classified documents, falsified business records, put together slates of electors to try to overturn subvert democracy. If he done all of this and y'all still can't get him, what does that say about your case? It either speaks to your ability to go after people or it speaks to the particulars of the case. And in my opinion, it's the particulars of the case. It's not your ability to go after people. Why? Because they have such a high conviction rate. Right? It's the particulars of the case. It's been weaponized. They're going after this man for not a very good reason. I'm not going to say for no reason. Right? They do have a reason. Obviously. They can't control Donald Trump. And that's the crux of this whole thing. That's been this thing from day one. They can't control him. He's a bull in a china shop. He's a loose cannon, if you will. They can't control the guy. And what do they do with people they can't control? They silence. They outright silence these people. We've seen it time and time again. But I'm loving Pam Bondi. Like I said, I've never heard anything from her previously. And she did a really, really good job. She was fair with her answers. I'll give it that. She wasn't trying to play partisan politics or nothing like that. She was trying to be fair. She was trying to be nice. She was trying to be respectful to all the senators. I don't see any problems with her confirmation, to be honest. Don't see any problems. I can't wait to see Kash Patel's. Because I can't wait, because he's smart. He's quick. He's quick-witted. He's going to come back at them Democrats. And he's just going to burn them to the freaking ground. Hopefully. I can't predict anything, of course. But hopefully he burns them to the freaking ground. Because he most definitely has the ability to do so. He's going to bring the facts. And he's going to bring the logic. And he's going to put that right up in their face. And hopefully slap the crap out of them. Verbally. That is. No violence over here, y'all. None whatsoever. But I think I've rambled on for long enough on this one. I want y'all to let me know what y'all think about all this down in the comments section. Are y'all excited for Pam Bondi? Are y'all excited for all of Trump's cabinet picks? Let me know what you think. That's all I got. I want to thank everybody for watching. And y'all try to have a good day. Stay legitical. Peace.